Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Have a little something different for you today. Just got back from Home Depot. I have this Brinly Dethatcher I bought for $99. Going to assemble it and show you guys how to use it and also talk about why I'm doing this. But first off, go ahead and mow the lawn, then I'll bring you guys right back and we'll put this thing together. Okay, as you can see, grass is all cut, looking good, nice and green. And I have some clippings here. And this is the reason I want to do the dethatching. All these clippings, I get so much every week that I mow that it doesn't have time to decay. So you'll see underneath, you'll see all this dead grass that's like keeping my good grass from growing. So we're gonna see if we can get this thing dethatched and see what it does for the yard. I did have, a couple months ago, there's a big brown spot right here. And I just got a regular rake, raked it out, and now it's all nice and green. So we're gonna do this dethatching. They recommend doing it, this is my first time, they recommend doing it under 80 degrees, and that would be fall and summertime, or fall and spring. So we're getting into fall next week. Today it's 70 degrees, so we're gonna go ahead and get it done. But anyways, let's go ahead and show you how to put that thing together. Went ahead and set up the table here with our dethatcher on it in the backyard so we can put it together. Hopefully I can get some good angles for you guys. But let's go ahead and get this thing opened up and see how bad it's going to be. Hopefully it's a pretty easy project here. Looks like it's mainly assembled, so it shouldn't be bad. I can already see down in the bottom our hardware just has some pins and stuff in it. First step, we're going to take these two angled pieces and we have these two like sandwich plates, and they're going to mount in a triangle to make our tongue. As you can see on our little bolt assembly here, we have panel 1A, and that's going to be to put together the first part of our dethatcher. And so the instructions are pretty good. So we're just going to go ahead and grab those bolts and put this together. Okay, like I was saying, we're going to use these bolts, and your arm is going to go on the inside of the back portion and the outside of the front portion of these tabs. And our bolts are going to run through here and back here, and you can see there's a slot there so this can move up and down. Okay, the drawbar is installed, hand tight. I have the bolts in there the way that the directions say. These here both go in from the left side when it's upside down, and these both go in from the right side. And keep in mind that these plates here, same thing on both sides. This one goes to the right of it, this one goes to the left. Same thing over here. And in your package you get two flat washers. Those go back on the back portion. Next up we have our clevis here, and we're using panel 1B bolts to install that right here. Here I have the clevis. I went ahead and used the two long bolts in package 1B with the lock nut, the lock washer, and the nut. And since I have the unit upside down, we're going to put the bolts facing downward, so when we flip it over it will be correct. And then right here we're going to sandwich those bolts like that, and with our short bolt we're going to run that through and sandwich this whole deal together. Here's what the clevis looks like put together, also hand tight, and we'll tighten that stuff up later. Went ahead and put the pin in it also. Two long bolts here, and then the little short bolt goes and sandwiches it all together. Went ahead and flipped the unit over, and next up we have this lift lock right here that's going to mount on the inside using the bolts from panel 2A. There's what the lift lock looks like. This is tightened up. I have the bolts running through this way with flat washers on this side, lock washers on this side with the bolts, and that is tight. This I went ahead and put in there, and I'm not sure what it's for yet. Nothing doesn't state what it's for at this particular time, so let's keep on moving on. Here I have our bar for our wheel assembly, our two wheels. panel 3A for the bolts. This is going to be pretty simple. Bolts running out from the outside, flat washer, another flat washer, and the nut. So there's an additional step that I found on here, that you go ahead and put the bolt and flat washer on this side, put a washer and the nut on this side, and I cinched it down just a little bit, but that kind of creates an axle. So then you're going to put that through, and panel 3B has our nut to hold it all on. These just need a 3/4 inch wrench to tighten them up. Went ahead and flipped our unit back over, and now we're going to install the wheels on our wheel bar. And I have it setting in here. I need to raise it up. We're going to raise it up, put our bolts in these holes using the bolts from panel 4, and our legs are going to, our wheels are going to kind of come up this way, and they're gonna mount, set it down right here, they're gonna mount on the side with the hole on both sides. Wheels are installed. This uses a lock nut, and the directions say tighten it to minimum side-to-side movement, which in my head it means that we want it to be loose enough to where this moves, because we're going to be adjusting our height with our lever here in a minute. So just make it to where it's tight, or not really tight, but to where this moves up and down, but not side to side. Just wanted to give you guys a tool update. This stuff is all 1/2 inch wrenches and sockets. This one is a 7/16. So this is 7/16. The wheels are 19 millimeter or 3/4. Everything else is going to be a 1/2 inch. Here I have our lever, and Phoebe, no talking right now. So bottom bolt is going to have this rod go through it, or bottom hole, sorry. And then number 12 bolt that we had from earlier, we're going to put a spring and 2 flat washers in there, and then put it on here as a pivot point. And for our handle install, we are using panels 5 and 6. Have our handle on now, and the best way to do this, go ahead and install this rod first, and you can see how it's installed. The little zigzag or whatever you want to call it's on that end, and then you've got the 90 and 90 on this end. So what I did is installed that end, and then attached the handle to this, and then slid the handle in. Hopefully y'all saw that on the video. Then you have washer, spring, washer, and a nylon nut here, and you just want to get that a little tight. You don't want to compress that spring, because that's there so you can make your adjustments. Now these bolts are still loose, and these bolts down here are still loose, so I need to tighten them up. But since there is some play right here, some adjustment, I think I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the tractor, and then we'll make our adjustment and tighten it. That way it's set up for the height of our tow hitch here. That's what she looks like. I did go ahead and tighten these up, and I put our pin in, and I messed around a little bit. Looks like we're going to want this thing as high as possible, so that on setting 1, which is our high setting, that we're not touching the ground. And then also, oh, my little rubber handle, got to put on the handle here. Woo, there we go. Everything's tight, and she looks good. You can see right there, she's not touching the grass in level 1, There's level 2, barely in the grass. 3, she's in the grass. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab some stepping stones, put some weight on this thing. Let's drag it around a little bit, see what happens. There we go, got a couple of weights on there. Go ahead and pull it around the front yard and see what we get. Just use some bungee cords to hold on the weights. I think that'll be plenty. Gonna start with setting 2. Okay, so this is after 2 passes, and there's a ton of material for me to rake up. So let's get to that. Okay, let me show you what I have here. This is pile 1 I raked up, and then another little small pile over here. But what's interesting about this is all the beat down grass. You know, I just mowed it. Look at this. It brought up these long strands that have just been beat down from the mower running over it, plus from just being held down by old, nasty, rotten grass. So now basically I could recut it, because like some of this stuff is longer than when I cut the yard there. But yeah, there's still some more thatch underneath, and I think I could run that thing across a few more times, maybe even put it on level 3. But I'm pretty happy with the way it is. Still need to get these piles cleaned up, and I think the thing worked out good. It's $99. Home Depot and Lowe's was supposed to have it, but they didn't have any. But yeah, hope this helps you guys out. A lot of work, a lot of raking, but hopefully it'll make the yard look nice, and y'all will be able to see that. I'll just keep you updated in future videos, and every once in a while I'll just kind of pop in and say something about the front yard. And I'm gonna get the backyard later, because this is half an acre. The backyard's the most of it, and yeah, we'll just get the backyard maybe tomorrow or something. So hope you guys like this. See you next time. I'll give you one last look at this little guy here, and the arm, how it works. You just pull it, move it over, slide it down, pick it up, move it over, lowers it down even more. So that's all there is to it.